I will find them. I will bring them home.
Owen, I'm actually curious how you wanted to kind of mirror Noah's emotional journey with his physicality.
Yeah.
Because we see it evolve throughout the movie.
Cool. Yeah. No, I wasn't sure if people would notice, and so the fact that you did is neat. No, I mean he discovers himself throughout the course of this film, and so at the beginning of the movie he's unsure of himself. He feels a lot of pressure from his dad and from his clan, and and he doesn't have this kind of confidence that he does at the end of the film. He's naive and young and doesn't know what's out in the world, and so there's a tension was very important in terms of the shoulders.
Yeah.
And having this kind of he's very down in the beginning of the movie, also because he's been raised by chimps. He's never seen a human. He's never met an ape who's emulating a human. So he's very much just like raw chimpanzee, and the pressure from his dad and from Eagle Son, who's always kind of pecking at him and going after him. He's always on guard, And then throughout the film, he kind of comes into contact with these other, with Raka the orangutan, who's much more fluent in his speech than Noah has ever seen, and then eventually Proximus, and he meets this human, and kind of finds his strength, and becomes more. He's still forward. He still leads with his head, because he's very intellectual. But there's more strength in his stance and in his walk, and he feels heavier, at the end of the film.
The voice changes so
yeah,
good
the
too.
voice.
That really jumped out at me.
He goes through puberty.
Yeah.
The movie is puberty.
Yeah.
His voice drops. I mean, that's what it is. It's a coming of age film.
The eggs drop.
Definitely.
What?
And then one of the things I love with Proximus is, like you said, he kind of is emulating a human, but there's also an aggressiveness to his movement that we don't really see with other apes. Can you talk about what inspired that element of it and how it kind of reflects the power he holds in his kingdom?
He's really intensely on a mission. He feels like he's running out of time, so it adds to this intensity that you read, or as you interpreted, aggression. Like he is willing to do anything to be able to ensure that apedom continues to evolve in a way that doesn't include humans taking over the power and putting us back in cages. And that's like his mission. Of course, there's some narcissism in there as well, but he has studied humanity from the inception of Homo sapiens to all the rise and fall of the successes and the failures, and he's learned from all of that. And he loves humans, but he thinks he could do better. And so with it, he probably started kind of more apish, but then as he started to study humans, he started to become more like this, and started using his hands in an expressive way. Like, listen, you must understand what I am trying to say. He's a communicator.
Yeah.
Right? And by communicating, there's a lot of power in that. And that's how he influences people, with his charisma and his communication.
Charming.
Yeah.
Charming.
He's charming.
Thanks, man.
And then what do Proximus and Noah kind of learn from each other? Because neither is really wrong, but neither is completely right.
First off, I think what they learn from each other, there's another one.
Yeah.
There's a recognition of that higher consciousness, that higher level of intelligence.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
In terms of how we think.
Yeah.
In a different book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
I think for me, I'm just so like, we need to do this now. If we don't do this now, it's over. And he's kind of
Yeah, well, and I'm not sure yet. I don't know what the truth is at all. I'm still, like, this is the first, Proximus is the one who introduces me to the idea of cages and human supremacy and all that kind of stuff. You know, I've never heard of this in my life. I thought that humans and apes lived together because Raka's telling me this thing about Caesar, and I think that Noah and Proximus actually would be on the same side, except for Proximus's methods. You know, we would go about it different ways. And the thing that's keeping us from being at least
Allies.
some kind of from at least having a conversation that's not I want to kill you, is like you have taken my people and you have enslaved my people and killed my father, and you know like and so that is the fundamental thing for Noah of like, no matter what this guy is saying, he's taken my family,
Right.
and our identity. He's destroyed Eagle Clan, and that's what matters to Noah is his family.
Definitely.
But in terms of what Proximus is saying, Noah doesn't think it's wrong. He just doesn't know what the truth is.
Very interesting. And then kind of when you're finding like your ape, was it like finding like how you hold yourself? Was it the movement? Was it the voice? What was the first step of the process for you?
Maestro?
Yeah, starts with movement, because they're playing apes. I really took them on a journey to discover first their bodies and have a lot of awareness and a lot of movement capabilities and coordination, and then bringing in, from observing, from studying the differences between apes and men and differences between different apes and their proportions and all that, was to start teaching them to emulate apes first. I wanted them to, before they even though we started early with the characters because they were so quick at catching on, but it was still a process where let's get into the ape first and see, because when the body discovers the character, it starts having a life of its own, and that speaks to the mind, and suddenly magical things started happening, and they learned to listen to that, and we did a lot of improvisation, obviously, and once they're in that physicality, then it's magic. The one feeds the other. The mind recognizes things, and the body feeds things to the mind, and ultimately, magic happens. Suddenly, like this guy just. That's always a funny one. You surprised me so much. We're doing a one-on-one, and because he came late in the production, so I had him a few hours a day, and it was intense. Like me and him, and you, the teacher, go, and it was just pushing. And one day I said, so how would he express himself? And this guy just. And
I was in the body at the time.
He was in the body.
And I had never spoken as him. I had only spoken as myself, going, okay, well, is this his voice? That's what I auditioned with, and then. Through all of this body and the understanding of the anatomical differences, all this physical stuff started to happen, but then I realized I had to fight to get sound out. How do I, and so he goes, he asked me a question. I went, yes, I don't understand why I feel so angry. I need to make things happen quickly. Right. And it just came out, and he started filming and sent it to Wes. And then that was really, for me, where the character was really born, when the voice came out.
And it really came naturally. It was just
organic.
He was ready. It came out.
Yeah, we were.
And it comes out of the body too.
Only through learning through the body would I have been able to come to that. So,
especially in a creature, it's important to get there, to give a chance to the creature in you to start finding its way, Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, I'm ready to try this. I have one more question before we do, though. What are some of like the fundamental differences between like a chimpanzee, a bonobo, gorilla, and like orangutan?
Mainly body proportions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the pace.
Well,
and pace,
And
obviously.
physically,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
not
Yes.
socially.
Yeah, physically, it's body proportions because they all have the same impediment of hips being too close to the ribs, and so they have no torsion really. This is why they're kind of, or if they're moving forward, the hips don't move, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes they do that.
Watching a chimp move on two quickly is hilarious.
It's really hilarious.
It's really funny.
Yeah. When they run too, both arms up there.
Kind of like they kind of glide. You know?
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's really weird.
So, but really the difference is, the orangutan's hands are about here.
Yeah, right.
So, because he has short legs, and on top of which he's got a long upper body, long arms, and then you get to the rhythm. They're very slow
Yeah.
and deliberate. They have that kind of. And they're really with you. I know in the first trilogy, the actor that played
Maurice.
Morris
Yeah.
was made a point of being very deliberate and slow, which is a characteristic of orangutans. It was beautifully done.
Yeah.
And the gorillas, obviously, they're difficult to play because they have such small legs.
Right.
Like you'd have to be like this to look like a gorilla.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then you got the long arms, and
Really good gorilla.
Yeah, you're a great
You're
gorilla.
a good gorilla.
I'm not sure that's a compliment. When I think of,
I mean, I don't know. I think it is.
yeah, it is.
It's hard.
It is. Yeah, it's hard doing it.
Yeah.
He's like taking
So,
it.
so they're because they're so to emulate them, you have to be really stiff and
Right.
head high and shoulders and low, and then you're.
Very cool.
That's
You guys
awesome.
are having fun.
Yeah,
so good.
I love
We
watching
love
you
watching
do this.
you.
It's awesome.
So, yeah, and then the chimpanzees are, what we had mostly,
Yeah.
which are just naturally smaller and have shorter hands of all the great apes. And the bonobo has longer hands than the chimpanzee, but is roughly the same proportions.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. They're smaller than chimpanzees.
Which
But
he's just a freak, just like I am.
yeah,
yeah, Proximus is huge.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
terrifying.
he was a genetic exception.
Yeah.
And Kevin is kind of huge,
Yeah.
so just kind of
So it works
You're
out.
also a genetic exception.
right, right.
I love it.
Beautiful at it.
Right.
I'll take that.
All
as a
right.
good point.
So, and I haven't gotten anybody to be an orangutan, and you're the chosen one.
Great. So
And you'll
none of
enjoy
what
it.
I've seen matters. Perfect.
No,
What do you
no,
mean?
very much.
Like the before people who were doing the
Oh
chimpanzees.
no, yeah, no
Oh yeah,
comparison.
it doesn't matter. Starting
So-
from scratch.
Yep.
Still
Since they have longer arms, there you go.
Okay.
there we go.
And these are out, and this is out like this. Good. And I just want you to stand and hang straight and put them there, and then bend your knees until they touch. Yeah.
There you go.
And then put some weight on your hands. There you go. Yeah. And so when the orangutan is going to move, so you have your knees like this. Obviously, the first step is to understand that the shoulders are locked to the hips
Okay.
because they have no possible torsion. So first you're just going to walk with those, but keeping them loose on each side of your
Okay.
body.
So like,
Yeah, that's it. But right now, open your feet a little bit,
Okay.
Yeah, that way. Just so, and then really relax. The orangutans actually sometimes have really, really open feet when they walk, and they flat foot the ground. They're very delicate with the ground, as if you're kind of not walking on eggs, but making sure that you don't injure yourself with all the vegetation on the ground.
They're kind of floppy.
Flowy.
Yeah.
That's it.
okay.
Keep your head low. Forward.
Okay.
The orangutan is a little bit like an old man.
Oh,
When
okay.
you look at sometimes the orangutans in some of the documentaries, it's just freaky. It's like, whoa, is it? And he's moving down, and he's really like this. Good. Now you're going to use these.
Okay.
And what the orangutan does is, well, most apes, they crosswalk. So if I put my right foot forward, the next thing to move is going to be the left arm,
Okay.
okay? And so as the orangutan, you're just going to step there and then put the arm down. And very slowly move the other one and put the arm down.
And Elaine, you were saying that they keep the arms on the outside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have a tendency to keep it pretty wide. So bend your knees as you do it. Yeah, that's it. Right? Head forward,
Yeah. Sorry. I'm trying. Yeah. Okay.
and then you.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's a good orangutan.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Yep.
That's it.
Now try to speak like Peter Macon. Like glorious, like
Amazing voice.
every time he speaks, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm like,
wow.
just keep going.
Good. Keep going.
Read me a bedtime story.
And once in a while, just stop and look around. And only the head is moving. And it's observing. It's feeling the air, smelling, looking at the top of the trees. And then keep going. Very slow. That's it.
This is so cool.
Yeah. So remember, foot down and then the arm is that slow,
Ooh, that looked good.
you know?
You did that. That was very orangutan. That was really good.
Yeah, they have a kind of, there's a different, like, a different weight, especially on
And head
you know.
forward.
Yeah.
Seeing an orangutan walk on the ground is actually very rare.
Yeah, it
'Cause,
is. It is.
yeah,
They're usually always on
They're
trees.
always
Yeah.
in trees.
Yeah. And then they do
They're like
these
the most
long
arboreal of
reach,
any
you know,
of them.
sometimes to grab
Yeah.
things. And
Because their legs
Very
are
long
kind of useless.
This has been
They don't really walk on
amazing.
two.
you're so welcome.
Thank you so
Love
much.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, good job.
That was,
Great.
you were a very
That
good
was the best,
orangutan.
Great
best
job.
orangutan today.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm so glad.
Say his words! What a wonderful day!